awakening into your totality, there is this process of deepening your awareness. And what deepening awareness is just having a relationship with what's going on for you inside. And how this is potent is because you then step away from the I should and the trying and the attempting to make things happen, and you drop into the authentic way that you are. Because to act through totality, to be connected to all, to really live by that oneness, you still have to recognize the uniqueness of you. You don't want to be robots. We aren't robots. We all are individuals that have a very specific part to play within the universe. That's why we're here. So we need to deepen an awareness of that. The actual process of sitting within is probably one of the most potent processes I learned to do. So I was conditioned. My father is a doer. I don't think the only time he sits still is when he's watching football, so he's still doing something. And so grew up with that go, one thing from another, just be busy all the time. And it wasn't until I was actually really sick in my 20s and I was blessed to go to a health retreat at Fountainhead. I was their first customer. And there's not much to do when it's only you at a brand new retreat. So I had to learn to just sit. And I can remember the first day that I just sat on the hill with nothing, to do nothing, and the recalibration that happened. And what has come from that is, over the last couple of years, the real ability just to sit with how things are right now. We are all conditioned to present ourselves through our persona. We are all conditioned to show the world how wonderful we are when we're in a good space, when wonderful things are happening to us, when things are going well. And for those people that are brave enough to share things when it's not that way, it throws people. They kind of don't know what to respond to. If you feel heavy, instead of trying to feel light by doing the practices that we know we can do to make us feel light, just sit with it. Consciously do nothing and just sit with it and dive deeper and deeper within to sense what that is about. And then that will naturally bring forth a deep awareness of who you are, what's processing for you, and sometimes what needs to happen. Sometimes nothing needs to happen, because that's the power of awareness. Once awareness comes into the consciousness in regards to a certain situation or experience, that's often all that's needed to shift it. But then sometimes a shift or a change within your circumstances may be required as well. But when it comes from awareness, there isn't this push to do it now. There isn't this I have to try and make this happen. It's just you're aware that somewhere along the line this action will have to happen, and it will happen in the right timing, because your awareness will keep it real. So when it's really aware, when it's really strong and it's really on your mind and it's really present, then you're like, well, maybe it's time to act on it. And there is a difference between intuition and awareness. They're both very similar, but intuition is receiving clarity through these thoughts that drop into our mind. Okay, awareness is the space to allow that to happen. Awareness is the space to create within, so that the sacredness of who you are can blossom, so that jewel in the lotus flower can actually be shared with the world instead of tucked away inside. Just going deep into a beautiful sense of awareness, so that you can understand your uniqueness and who you are, so that that isn't lost, because that can get lost. It's really interesting times that we live in, because there is so much ego-driven everything out there. And so the individual and their importance is often tainted with that. And then when we work at the other end of the polarity is, you know, we sitting and being humbled and bowing down to creation and remembering that you are actually irrelevant, which is great because that resets everything back to that point of nothingness, and nothingness is where the power is. But we all have a contract that we agreed to before our birth, and right now those contracts need to be abided by. And it doesn't matter if you know or don't know your contract, because the more awareness you get about yourself, the more you'll feel what it's like to be joyful, what it is that fills you. And if you're doing the things that fill you up, that's in line with your purpose. And that's in line with your contract. So that's why awareness of who you are is important, because the oneness needs all of us to come together to fulfill our purposes and our contracts, so that this shift that is needed can happen. Close your eyes and drop down into the base of the body. Feel the rise and the fall of the breath. Feel the beating of the heart. And if possible, see if you can even feel the pulsing of the blood through the veins. Become aware of all that is happening inside of you. All these miracles of life that come together to create the uniqueness of you. Creating the space to deepen your awareness of all that is. Then inhale and suspend the breath while the intention is set. May I find the stillness of peace within that creates the space to deepen the awareness of all that I am, allowing a beautiful, authentic relationship of self to develop more than ever before for the benefit of all. And exhale.